Welcome back to the channel Future CS. I hope your accounts exam has went well. I know the exam was a little lengthy. It was a above average paper, not an easy paper, not tough paper. Remember, this was an average paper not only for you, for entire India. So don't start stressing about the accounts exam. Let's focus on the next exam. Let's focus on the law. We only have 1.5 days of time to complete the entire massive syllabus of law. You know how big our syllabus is, how massive our content is, how much we have to remember within this next 1.5 days. And we have always known this. The revision part is what makes or breaks your exam. Hence, this 1.5 days utilization will be very, very important irrespective of how your exam have went in accounts. So I hope you are leaving the burden of accounts in the exam hall itself. You're coming back without any burden from accounts and starting this 1.5 days of time with a proper intention. And before we go into the exact schedule on what to do in this 1.5 days and how to plan your study properly, we'll start with those things which you should do and should not do in this 1.5 day to make sure that you're optimally utilizing this entire period to the best of the possible to bring in the best of the possible outcome there. So we'll obviously start with the things which you shouldn't be doing. I hope you have started these already now. So we'll start with the things which you shouldn't be doing, and the first and the foremost thing you shouldn't be doing is carrying over the accounts burden. As I said, accounts exam doesn't affect the law syllabus. However good or however bad your accounts exam might have gone, what will make the group a little more lively? Law. Make sure that law will become your exemption paper. Law will become that paper will bring in the aggregate out of group 1. Make sure that it will be helping you to either get a good amount of marks or an aggregate or an exemption in the paper. Make sure that we'll utilize this 1.5 day to the utmost possible extent. Then second thing, to a lot of people, as soon as the exam is done, they start relaxing as if the exams are completely over. Because we have another 10 days of time to complete our CA Inter journey. So let's not relax already. Let's make sure that we are planning and putting more efforts on the very first day, right? Then selective study. I know a lot of students come to me and ask, sir, because the syllabus is very huge, we'll do one thing. We'll revise some chapters, few chapters in a better manner, and we'll leave some chapters. Unless otherwise you revise the syllabus day before the exam, you'll not be able to write it. Especially when it comes to a theory paper, especially when it comes to your memory power, it has to be done a day before the exam. So please don't do any selective study. The always suggestion would be to do the entire syllabus before the exam. So make sure that you're planning your time. I'll give you a proper time plan, but you are making sure that you are covering the entire syllabus in this 1.5 day itself. And a lot of people have overconfidence, sir. लॉ ने गधा అయిపోతుంది बस लॉ ही ना सर हो जाएगा आराम से पढ़ लेंगे law. I know law is a easy subject for some of you, but at the same point of time we will not get overconfident about it. We'll have the confidence, we'll become the president, we'll create laws and everything, that's fine, but you are not going to compromise on the preparation part. Don't be a little overconfident. Make sure that this extra mile of efforts you put in will bring in you that extra 5-10 marks which will help you a lot in the end of the process. So make sure that you're not overconfident but are still confident about the exam, right? And the things which you should be doing. I hope you will follow all these points from here on. We have to, as I said, no selective study. We have to do the entire 100 syllabus coverage in this period of time. Then be confident about it, irrespective of what happened in the accounts exam, whether it is tough, lengthy, I didn't write it well, I didn't attempt 400, etc. Doesn't matter. It's over. You cannot rewrite the accounts exam anymore. Let's rewrite. Let's make sure that law exam is in a better manner than compared to accounts, right? And this is one of my this is, as per me, the most important thing here. We have to try and complete and try and put in more and more efforts as much as possible today, because as soon as you wake up tomorrow morning with the intention that yes, I've done a big chunk of syllabus, I've done like 20, 30, 40% of the syllabus done, and I have a full day to complete the rest of the syllabus, your positive mindset starts there. Once the positive mindset starts there, that will have a snowball effect, that will have a better amount of retention, better amount of preparation, better amount of presentation in the paper. That is possible only when you're putting as much as efforts in the day one, that is today, the 3rd of May. Making sure that you will complete a good chunk of syllabus today itself. And one more thing, this is also I feel very important, because our law paper is something where you have to keep your pen moving for the entire 3 years of period, where time is usually not sufficient for us. We'll do a little bit of writing practice, at least a question a day. Maybe a question today, a question tomorrow, and a question just before the exam. so that we'll have that writing flow, we'll create that muscle memory to write it, and with a time frame also. Put a time limit, pick a random question, write everything as we do, quantify the answer for 1.5 pages or so, write all the facts, provision, analysis, and conclusion, and make sure that you're doing in the time sense, so that time management also comes into the exam. Make sure that you also watch the time management video if you have not watched it yet. Make sure that you are managing your time properly and writing the entire 3 hours of exam with 100 marks. Coming to the schedule specifically, day 1, I want you guys to complete today 3 major chapters: FEMA, Foreign Company, and LLP. These are mandatory chapters which will fetch you somewhere close to 30% of your syllabus, just a matter of 4 hours. Because these are the chapters which are not huge in nature. If you're comfortable with these 3 chapters, they should be done within 4 hours today itself. By the time you go to sleep today, your target is to complete these 3 chapters: Foreign Exchange Management Act, FEMA, Foreign Companies, and LLP. All the 3 chapters are mandatory and very important chapters, small but very important and very weightage chapters. So if you're done with this 30% of the syllabus today itself, by by 11 o'clock, I'm expecting you to start the video by start the preparation by maybe around 7 or 7:30. Plan it according to the process. Then coming to day 2, you go through the entire chart. I'll leave this as a PDF in your description of this video. Go through the entire process. I've given you lunch breaks, tea breaks, everything. I've given you proper time limit on how much time should you be spending on each of the topic. Once it is done, this will be very important again. Before you go to sleep, come and revise these 4 specific chapters. These 4 specific chapters are very important for exam. These are chapters which will fetch you good amount of marks: FEMA, LLP, accounts, and management. These are the 4 chapters will fetch you close to 40 to 50 marks of syllabus. 40 to 50 marks coming from these 4 chapters which you have already studied. Make a proper revision, at least spend half an hour, 45 minutes, make a proper revision and sleep. Once you have done with this proper revision, whatever time you'll take, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, doesn't matter, make a proper revision. Once this revision is done properly, you sleep with the intention that 50 marks are any which ways in my pocket. These are the 4 chapters which I have done very good. Then again, once you have woke up in the morning, make sure that you are revising the 4 chapters again as soon as possible, maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours, so that these chapters will be studied at least 3 times. These 4 chapters will be studied 3 times during the 1.5 day period, and you'll have confidence to write these chapters 40 to 50 marks. Understand this? 40 to 50 marks will be in your pocket. You have done this multiple times. Then comes the rest of the chapters. We'll do a proper revision again. So I always believe that how much ever you have studied in on day 1 and day 2, on the exam day, unless otherwise you go through the entire book once again on day 3, the exam day, you'll be not able to have the confidence carrying into the exam hall. So make sure that you revise everything on the day of exam and write the exam as better as possible. One more thing, once you step into the exam hall, everything should wipe out. Only thing that you should remember is you'll attempt for 100 marks. If you know the answer, you will write the answer. If you don't know the answer, you will create the answer, you'll become the president. But end of the day, you should walk out from the exam hall by writing how much? 100 marks. All the very best, guys. I hope your law exam also goes very good. All the very best for your rest of the exams also. Thank you.